Alright guys, back in the office. No one's here. We can film, we can talk. No one's looking at me crazy because I'm filming, talking to a camera. So yeah, let's go do this thing. So we're going to do the dual comparison first. Then from there, we're going to kind of just tidy up our ideas on how to test. And then we're going to leave you guys with the last little macro point about kind of YouTube golf coaching and kind of how to navigate that. So anyways, let's get into the actual stats real quick. Alright guys, so we're going to go with the draw with the neutral alignment first. So remember, this was the one where I was aiming my club face at the target where I wanted the golf ball to end up. I was trying to get a path to the right of that and then the face angle to the left of the path, but still right of the target, right? So let's get into kind of some of the numbers here. So we're going to go over and first just kind of take a look at the grouping. So as you can see, I had a lot of misses to the right. I had one miss to the left of target, and I did not hit target or even get close to target really at all. So pretty big deviation in terms of lateral deviation. Now, short to long is always good with me because I'm usually a pretty good striker at the golf ball. I hit it pretty solid. So that's not really that big of an issue. But with that pattern, what I find when I try to aim at the target with the club face, like I was kind of stating earlier, I feel like I have to physically shift path to the right and then shift face to the right. And it's a really weird feeling for me. And I tend to miss it like I did there. Ignore that message. But anyways, guys, let's get back to the video. So let's just go through kind of some of the shots here. So the first shot, ignore the total distance too. This is with firm fairways. Totally disregard that. Let's look at the lateral. So I missed it 14 yards right. Club path was 5.6 to the right. Face to path was 2 degrees left, so roughly right around 3.6 with that. So I kind of hit like a little push shot basically with that first shot. And if we go back to the grouping with that first shot, you can kind of see it highlighted right here. I missed it off to the right. If we go through the second one, we're going to see kind of a pattern here. So this is the second one, 8.3 yards to the right, 9-degree in out path. That's that one where I'm telling you guys where I really feel like I have to exaggerate. 6.7 left to that, so that's roughly around a 3-degree. And then this one also, I believe, was to the right, but not as much, right? That was one of my better ones. And then just gonna kind of slowly go through or quickly go through these. You can kind of see kind of similar numbers, right? And then one of them I actually did miss off to the left, which I believe was the third one. I believe something like that. It was one of these. But anyways, you can see the trend, right? You can see I did not do very well with the pattern. So let's go hop over. Let's close out of this and let's go over to my other one, which was the pull draw. Hit kind of a pull draw. When I say pull draw, wherever the club face is pointing at setup, I'm actually starting it left of that. Okay, so that's what I mean by pull draw. Whether I have a negative path or a slightly positive path isn't really necessarily the case. It's more so where the club face is directed, and the club face, obviously, if it's going to draw, is going to be left of that. So let's go take a look at what we did. So grouping wise, you can see a whole lot tighter dispersion, right? So a lot closer to the line. Lateral is more so 11 as opposed to 27 feet. Short to long got a little bit better too as well. I think I was just more confident with that swing, and I know that draw. That's like my go-to shot, like a little pull draw is what I play when I'm under the gun, and I'm just super comfortable pulling it off. I'm trying to work to a fade, and I might get to there someday, but when I'm under the gun, this is the shot I'm going to hit, and obviously there's a big reason why. So let's go through kind of some of the shots real quick. So again, you can see lateral 1.3 left. I had 11.9 path. Face to path was 10.9 left of that, right? So a pretty big pull. But it was a pull draw right back on the target. I'm telling you guys, that is the way I do it. Now let's go to the second one. 10 degrees to the right path, but 10.5. So I missed that one slightly left possibly. Here, let me go check that second one. Yeah, that was the one I missed slightly left. If we go back to this thing, you can kind of see, quickly go through. We're getting really similar numbers here. 10.5 right path, 9 degrees to the left. 12.5 right path, 14 degrees to the left, a little overdraw. So as you can see, the reason why the path numbers got more to the right was just because I was aiming my whole body more to the right. I was hitting a pull draw, guys. It's the best way that I play that shot. Alright guys, so based off the number, what is the perfect way to hit a draw? Well, for my personal golf game, obviously it's the pull draw. Now, how do I know this? It's how I test. I've done this with TrackMan in the past. A lot of you guys are just kind of probably thinking that I'm just starting to learn about ball flight laws possibly. I know I've gotten some comments in the past or like, are you just... Guys, I've been taught, since TrackMan's been around, I've known about ball flight laws. Let's just put it that way. Now, I just got a flight scope because I could afford it for my personal business. I have used TrackMan for numerous hours in the past. I'm not master certified or anything from them, but I probably should be. I know everything you need to know about. I shouldn't say that. Never say everything, guys. That's not a good thing to say. I know an incredible amount about TrackMan and the numbers and how to utilize it in the lesson, so I would consider myself well versed to talk on the subject, so that's why we're talking on it. But yeah, do your data, or excuse me, do your testing similar to this. Now, not everyone has a flight scope, not everyone has a TrackMan, so how can you guys kind of do this? I know ranges sometimes have earnest machines where you can kind of get somewhat accurate numbers. If you really want to do it right, what I used to do when I was in high school was what I go out to on a kind of a normal sunny day, what I would consider like an average day in the area that I live in. I would also go to a flat part of the golf course and I would just start hitting shots, right? And then what you do is you get yourself a center line, and from there you test out different types of swing motions and you figure out which one you're performing better with. You do it obviously by how good your long to short dispersion is, which is kind of what we talked about here, as well as how good your left to right dispersion is. And then within that, you can also add on the variables of, even though you might be a little bit better with one of them, you might, on paper, you know, in that particular test, you might want to test it over a period of time because maybe possibly just that feel of the other one, even though technically on paper you're not more accurate, you feel more confident with it on the course. I've gone through that with certain motions in the past before where that's happened. So I mean, it gets really kind of individual, and it gets really just dependent on kind of what you want to do. But I think this is a great way to start. So if you guys are out there and you guys are trying to figure out what swing motion is correct for you, you guys are watching a bunch of YouTube videos, you guys are doing your research, I love it, it's all good. Figure out this portion, how to test, how to do these things to back up your knowledge, new knowledge or newfound knowledge on YouTube, and hopefully you guys are going to be able to implement your swing motions a lot better. Now, that kind of brings us into kind of the last little point about YouTube golf instruction. So here's the thing. The two, let's see, not two, I watched 4 videos. Now I know I should have probably maybe done a little bit more research, but I watched 4 videos on how to hit a draw. They all pretty much said the same thing. They said it in their own different ways with different analogies, but they all pretty much talked about face to path, the relationship between the two, how they create curvature. Some of them talked about low point and swing direction. Some of them talked about attack angle, etc., right? But what they all basically were saying was the better players hit a draw by aiming at the target with the club face. They get their path like +4 or +3 or even +2 possibly, and then their face angle is at a 2-to-1 ratio to that. That's what they said. That's what the better players do. Now, the way they said it, the language and the way that they said it basically makes you, the consumer, you, the golfer out there, think that that is the only way you should do it. Because I have people all the time coming to me, now that I have a flight scope, they're like, they want a lesson, which is just funny because I had the knowledge before, but they come to me, they're like, I want to hit a perfect draw. I heard you got to have like a +2 path and a +1 face. And I was like, well, we could try, we could test that, we could see if that maybe is the way, but possibly it's not, right? So again, hopefully this test kind of opened your eyes to that. Me personally, I like that pull draw. No instructor in the world is going to teach you to have a +10 path with a face that's negative, like 10 degrees left of it or whatever, to hook it back online. No one's going to teach you that, right? No one's going to teach you to aim that far right and hit those little pull hooks back to online. But again, that's how I hit target, and I'm obviously, if you look at the numbers, incredibly good at doing that. So that's I think just a super valid point just in golf instruction. Even though I'm not doing it the perfect way, I'm pretty damn good at how I'm doing it, and I'm probably not going to change it. Even though I am trying to work on different shots, when I'm under the gun, I'm probably never going to go away from that shot. So make sure to find your own shot where you guys can do that yourselves. I think it's a super important skill. And yeah, that's pretty much the spiel I wanted to talk about today. So if you guys haven't already, hit that like button or smash it, whatever you want, I don't care. Leave that comment below. Show me some hate if you want it. I mean, the YouTube hater, you guys are going to comment no matter what. So just you stop and then subscribe. All right, guys, best of luck out there and play some golf out there. I said there again. Oh, God.
I hate